Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Alyssa again for our third Building Leaders lesson. Third lesson. That means for the last 3 weeks, I've been missing you. I've been missing your faces and your hugs and all of the laughter. Because one thing that Miss Alyssa and all my little leaders are good at is laughing. But I'm so glad that we still get to do Building Leaders together, even though we're not in the same room with each other. Because it's important that we continue to learn our 7 habits. It's important because our 7 habits are what's going to help us become the best leaders that we can be. So this week, for our third Building Leaders lesson, the first thing we're going to talk about is the same thing we always talk about first, because it's wildly important. So we're going to talk about Miss Alyssa's wigs, my wildly important goals. My first wildly important goal, you guys already know, was to learn all your names, which we did. You helped me. My second wildly important goal was to put all the clothes away in my laundry basket because there were bathing suits in there and it was snowing outside. So I have a green check beside that because I accomplished that goal. My third wildly important goal was to clean up the room in my house that was super, super messy, remember? And I did that. We synergized and we got it all done. So there's a check mark next to that one. And then last week, I told you that my fourth wildly important goal was a kindness mission. And I was going to bake cookies and deliver them to some really special friends and family. So let's see if Miss Alyssa accomplished my fourth wildly important goal. There they are. It took me all day. We decorated about 100 unicorns and rainbows. Some of the unicorns were purple with pink sparkles. Some of the unicorns were white with pink sparkles, and the rainbows all had rainbow sprinkles. And I'm going to show you just a couple people that I delivered them to. First, I delivered some to Mrs. Cabello's daughter, Aliana. She was so excited. And then I delivered some to Mr. Shepherd. Does he look like he likes cookies? That's what he said to me. We love cookies. So Miss Alyssa accomplished my last wildly important goal, or my fourth wildly important goal, which was to bake cookies and deliver them to family and friends. Boys and girls, kindness missions are part of habit number 7, sharpen the saw. When we sharpen the saw, that means we're taking care of our minds and our bodies, but we're also taking care of our hearts. And the way that we take care of our hearts is when we are kind to other people, because kindness fills their bucket and it fills our bucket too. So next week, my next wildly important goal is to start reading a book. So next week, I'm going to be working on a different part of habit number 7. I worked with my heart to do something kind, and then next week I'm going to work on building my mind by reading a new book and learning something new. I hope that you guys are setting wildly important goals when you're at home. Okay, let's review our 7 habits of happy kids. Habit number 1, be proactive. And that means that I'm in charge of myself, right? You're in charge of the way that you act. You're in charge of the way you think. You're in charge of your attitude. Not everything's going to go your way, and not everything's going to make you happy, but it's up to you to choose to do the right thing. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. We worked on that last week, or at least I hope you did. I hope you made a plan. You sat down and you made a scavenger hunt that you could do with your family. That's using habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. Stop and think and make a plan. Habit number 3, put first things first. Do the important things first and then do the fun things. When Miss Alyssa did her fourth wig, I had to do the important thing first, right? I had to make the cookies because I couldn't go visit my friends and my family without making the cookies first. Habit number 4, think win-win. This one's probably hard when you're home with your families and your brothers and your sisters, because sometimes we want to watch what we want to watch on TV, or we want to play what we want to play. And it's important that we stop and we think and we find a way that everybody's happy and everybody can do what they want. So habit number 4, think win-win, is really important right now. Habit number 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood. We have to do this when we think win-win, because we have to make sure we're listening with our eyes, our ears, and our hearts. If our eyes can see that someone is sad, then we need to love them with our hearts. Habit number 6, synergize. Hopefully you did that with your scavenger hunt and you worked together with your family. That's what synergize means. We work together with our friends and our family. And habit number 7 is sharpen the saw. We talked about this one already today. When we sharpen the saw, we're taking care of our mind, our body, and our heart. And just like last week, because I think it's super important, we'll go over Miss Alyssa's proactive happy list. The first thing on my happy list, when I start to get sad and missing West Noble Primary, I think about my little leaders because you guys make me so happy. The second thing on my proactive happy list is West Noble Primary, and I think of all of the laughs and the fun that we have together. The third thing on my proactive happy list is the 7 habits of happy kids, because when I think about you guys practicing the habits and I think about you being happy, that makes me feel so happy. Today I changed my number 4. I said the sunshine before, but I haven't seen the sunshine in a couple days. So today I said that sharpening the saw makes me happy and spreading kindness. When I see other people smile and their heart's happy because of something that I did for them, that makes me feel happy. That's good for my heart. And of course, number 5, my little dog Beckham. Here he is. He has a new tie. He was very sleepy that day, but I still wanted to show you how cute he was. Today, Beckham's not with me because he was barking, so I had to keep him in a different room. All right, today we are going to read our last book from our box of books of the habits. Now, boys and girls, this book has a little bit of a sad part. And Miss Alyssa doesn't like to read books that are sad, but they're important. It's important to talk about things that make us feel sad, because we have to make sure that we have good people and that will listen to us when we're feeling sad, that will care about us with their hearts. We have to make sure that we're proactive when we're sad. And so I think this is a really important book for us to read, because sad things will happen even though we don't want them to. And we have to make sure that we're being proactive and we're being loved, and we're letting people love us during those sad times in our lives. So today our book is called Goob and His Grandpa. And this book is about habit number 7. But just like all of our 7 habit books, you're going to be able to see lots of habits in the books, not just sharpen the saw. Goob Bear and his grandpa did everything together. They collected bugs at Fisheye Lake. They went on long hikes in the far north woods. They climbed trees and ate honey out of beehives. And they loved to wrestle on the living room floor. I love you, little gooberhead, Grandpa would say. I love you too, Grandpa, Goob would answer. You are my very best friend. One Monday morning, Goob didn't show up at school. Miss Hoot said, "Class, I'm really sorry to tell you that Goob's grandpa died yesterday. Goob won't be coming to school this week. Please try to think of ways that you can cheer him up. At times like this, you really need your friends." Look how sad his friends are for him because they care about him with their hearts. So now it's time for them to stop and think and figure out what they can do to help Goob feel a little bit better. Later at recess, the gang got together. "This stinks," said Lily. "I bet Goob misses his grandpa so much." "I think we should go see him," said Pokey. I know if he'll want I don't know if he'll want to see anyone right now," said Sophie. "He's in mourning. That means he's feeling really sad, so maybe he doesn't want his friends to come over and see him." "Well," said Sammy, "what would you want if your grandpa died?" The friends sat and thought for a little bit, and finally Tagalong Alley said, "I'd want my friends to be with me." After school that day, everyone showed up at Goob's house. He was sitting in his backyard, and he was feeling really sad. "Hi, Goob," said Lily. "We came to see you." "We're really sad about your grandpa," said Pokey. "He was a really great guy." "Thanks, Pokey. I'm really sad too. I don't know if I'll ever feel happy again," Goob said. "If you're sad, then we're going to be sad with you." They all huddled around Goob, and they were all sad together for a long time. But when it was time to get going, the gang gave Goob a hug, and they got ready to leave. Boys and girls, we talk about being proactive, right? And that you're in charge of you. Is it okay to feel sad? It is okay to feel sad because there's going to be sad things that happen sometimes. And it's okay for us to feel sad about those things. But is it okay to live the rest of our lives sad? Let's wait and see what happens. The next day, everyone got together to make a plan. So they're beginning with the end in mind. They knew that Goob needed their friends. So each day after school, one of them was going to go visit Goob. They all sat with Goob and they worked and they showed Goob that they cared about him. That's habit number 5. They listened to Goob talk about that he was sad, and they listened to him with their eyes, their ears, and their hearts, because their hearts were sad too for Goob. So they had practiced habit number 5 with Goob, and now they were thinking, you know what? We all got together and we were sad with Goob, and now it's time to try and find ways to help Goob feel happy. Is Goob still going to feel sad sometimes? Sure he is. But it's time for his friends to help show him that there's still really great things and happy things in Goob's life. And that's what being proactive is all about. So on Tuesday, Sammy and Sophie showed up with their walking sticks and took Goob on a long walk in the far north woods. "That was invigorating," said Sophie. "And fun too," said Goob. "Grandpa used to love to walk in the woods." So now he's thinking back of happy memories he had of his grandpa, and that's making him feel happy. On Wednesday, Pokey took Goob to Fisheye Lake to look for bugs. On Thursday, Lily and Tagalong Alley helped Goob get some honey out of a beehive in a tree. Lily was scared of the bees, but Alley thought they were really cute. So they're thinking, boys and girls, they're thinking about what would be fun for Goob. They're not thinking about what their favorite things are. They're thinking about what Goob's favorite things are, and they're going and doing things that will make Goob feel happy. That's caring about him. And on Friday, Jumper agreed to have a wrestling match with Goob in his living room. It was so much fun for Jumper because it wasn't so much fun for Jumper because Goob kept squishing him, but Goob had a great time, so Jumper was happy. Even Goob's mom didn't mind. So that was something that made them all giggle. On Saturday, they all came to visit Goob again. "We brought you something," said Sophie. "It's a honey chocolate cake," said Lily. "We made it all by ourselves." "But don't worry," said Lily. "I followed the recipe this time." "That's my very favorite cake," Goob smiled. "I made you a cod too," said Tagalong Alley. Allie opened up her card and read it out loud. Dear Goob, I'm so sad your grandpa died. He was your best friend. Now me and Jumper and Pokey and Wooey and Sophie and Sammy will be your best friends forever. I love you, Allie. Jumper started crying and Goob gave him a hug. Thanks, Tagalong Allie, said Goob. That means everything to me. And thanks for being my friends, you guys. I'm sure gonna miss my grandpa, but I don't feel so sad anymore. Boys and girls, I saw so many habits in that book. I saw the friends helping Goob be proactive so that he didn't feel sad all day long. He's still gonna feel sad. But they helped him see all the happy things that are around him too. I saw the friends use habit number 2, begin with the end in mind, when they sat down and made a plan and they thought of all the things that Goob loves and how they could go and help him. Let's see. I saw think win-win. I saw seek first to understand and then to be understood, because they didn't plan things that they loved to do. They planned things that they understood Goob would love to do. I saw synergize because they all worked together, and I definitely saw sharpen the saw because one day they planned to take him for a walk. That was good for his body. Another day, Lily gave him a card and they made him a cake that he would love. So that was helping his heart, right? And I think all of it was helping his mind, because all of it was showing Goob that even though sometimes his mind's going to be sad, there's ways that his mind can grow to be happy again too, and out of that sadness. So that was our very last little habit book. Miss Alyssa will have a different book for you next week that we're going to read together, but it won't have any of our 7 habit characters. So take one last long look at Pokey and Jumper and Goob and Sophie and Lily and Sammy and Allie. We'll miss seeing them, won't we? But hopefully you'll remember them in your heads, just like you're going to remember the habits in your head, and just like you're going to remember wildly important goals in your head, because our 7 habits friends have taught us a lot along the way. Oh, I forgot. And little Ernie the worm, he's in there too. They've taught us a lot along the way this year. So we have to make sure that we remember them, just like we have to make sure we remember our habits. So I have a challenge for you this week. Last week, my challenge for you was to make a scavenger hunt. Use habit number 2 to make a plan and make your list, and use habit number 6 to synergize with your family. So today, I'm going to challenge you this week to sharpen the saw. This is how Miss Alyssa's going to sharpen the saw this week. Number 1, I took care of my heart and I delivered all those cookies. I still have a few more to deliver, okay? So I'm going to take care of my heart by still doing some kindness missions and delivering cookies. Number 2, I'm going to take care of my mind by starting to read a new book. It's going to teach me new things. And number 3, I'm going to start to take care of my body, or I'm going to continue to take care of my body by eating vegetables every day this week. Okay? So that's how Miss Alyssa's going to sharpen the saw this week. My heart, my body, and my mind. Now I want you to make your own plan. So I want you to stop and think and make a plan, habit number 2, on how you're going to sharpen the saw this week. How are you going to take care of your heart with kindness? What are you going to do that's going to be kind to someone this week? How are you going to sharpen your mind by learning something new? What's something new you're going to do this week to grow your mind? And how are you going to sharpen your body this week? What are you going to do that's going to be a healthy choice for your body. I love you. I hope you have a great day today. I hope you have lots of fun sharpening the saw this week. And I'll see you next week. Bye, boys and girls.